kind of the MO, you know, good shot, bad shot sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Smooth one there. So overall, I really like kind of what you're up to. I think that your basics or your fundamentals that you were working on before, like your grip, stance, and posture, all that stuff's great. I've got one little adjustment which I'll show you later on. But you know, like when you're making your move into your backswing, I think things look pretty good. The one thing that I would like to see today, and we're going to work on trying to get your glove and your hands higher up.
Okay.
So when I see the arm kind of cross the chest, not a bad thing, but when it's underneath the shoulder, it's a little bit low and it doesn't quite get up enough. So
My hand?
yeah, I want to try and get your glove like above your hat today. And it's
Above
not
the hat?
above the hat, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not so much just to increase your increase the hand path. It's going to be a little bit more of, first, that's going to let you hit the ball harder, but second, it's going to time you up a little better. Because when the arms go back kind of short or shorter, when you start driving down with the arms, we're actually staying too long on the back foot.
Right.
So we don't kind of get that movement forward or momentum forward toward the golf ball or toward the target. So, you know, this might be swaying and sliding today in the direction of the target, which isn't too bad. So setup stuff, we're going to narrow the stance just a little bit. It gets a little wide, which might be why you're still on your back foot. So that's kind of the reason why I want to narrow the stance a touch. And then at setup, I want to see if you can push your hands forward to create a little bit of shaft lean.
Okay.
Just a little bit. We're not talking about too much, but both of those things are to help you hit the ground in front of the ball to hit the ball more solid. That's the whole reason why we're doing it.
Okay.
So as I take a look at your swing here, like I said, I think that you load up and you make a pretty decent turn. Again, trying to feel like today we're going to get the hands a little higher. But we can see here that as you start to move into the golf ball, you're more on your back side than you are on your front side. And I want to try and find a way today by feeling like on the downswing that you get everything from your right knee up has to get on the left side or target side of the golf ball. So if we just kind of freeze it back almost at impact, right, we've still got a lot of you behind the ball. So it'd be like a pitcher for the Jays kind of standing on the mound and throwing it without leaning forward. Like we want that mass of you moving into the left side to get a little bit more thump on the golf ball. And what we're going to see as a result on the way through is we're going to start to see not so much breakdown at the wrist. So we've got your left arm here and then the shaft comes down this way and it creates kind of a bit of a, where are we here? It gets a bit of an angle or a cuppy look right there, right? The shaft is past your arm. And so if the shaft passes your arm that early, that's a shortening thing. That's one of the reasons why we're not hitting the ground as well as we can. So trying to get you more onto your left side, more forward toward the target so that, you know, you can get more like this earlier on. Like you get there. I just want to see you get there with the club like down there. So
Oh, you mean talking about my left side?
yeah, like
Okay.
feeling like you're all the way on the left side with the club still pointing down at the ground rather than getting you on your left side with the club pointing up to the sky. So that'd be like a sequencing that we're going to see as a result of the other things that we're going to do. Okay, so let's jump over here.
Great shot.
So let me see your club for a sec. Stand right here in front of me. So just going to recap to go through this one more time. Our idea is here trying to feel like you can turn your back to the target, right? And the back also includes your two back pockets on your shorts, back to the target in order for you to get the hands higher. All right. Once we're here, trying to feel like you can slide your body in front of the ball, and once it's slid in front of the ball, then it stands up. And as it stands up, we're going to try and keep the club and the hands lower to the ground. Okay, that's kind of our recipe. Okay. Like that one a lot.
So I've noticed that I'm shift. If I'm going higher,
Yep.
I'm definitely shifting.
Good.
But I've sort of changed my ball position a little bit to make it to allow me, because I was taking it quite a bit to the right.
Yep.
So I moved my ball position slightly a little further.
Good for you.
Allowed me to,
Great fix.
So I know before when we first started, you say, well, try to have your glove hand a little further up.
Yep.
And I find that as I was doing that, I wasn't making good contact. I was definitely shanking it.
Okay.
I tried stepping back a little bit, just give myself a little more room.
Yeah.
And I didn't quite work, so I moved it up a little. I moved a little further up. And
Yeah.
I really had to work on keeping my hand low, I guess, or to sort of to compress the ball and to hit down on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm working on.
Okay. I like all that.
Yeah, I just trying. I mean, it's not what you had initially said, but
It's not supposed to be there yet.
making adjustments as I'm trying to make contact.
Good for you. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay, so give me a backswing. Show me how we're doing that. Big turn to the body, huge raise of the arms, and hold it at the top. It's going to feel like everything's on the back foot, nothing's on the front foot. Okay, take the weight off your toes on the left. Yeah, there you go. Good. Do that again.
Oh, that much. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll feel like it gets to zero like right away. Like right away, get the weight off the front foot. There you go. Awesome. Okay, so now let's do that backswing. Slide forward, hit the shot, and I want a low finish this time. Nice. Good job. Okay, show me that one again. I'm going to move you on this one. So once you hit the finish, hold it there. Hold it there. Okay, don't move. So forward and back. And you end up looking like the TPC logo, right? The PGA Tour logo.
So, it's going to sound kind of silly, but I mean, I've already hit the ball. Why do that?
Because so if you're coming into the ball and you're staying in a forward bend like this, it's going to slow the club down and it's going to help. You can either hit it thin or fat that way, or pull it, right? So we have to make sure that the body's on its way into this move to allow the club to go down and then up again.
Okay, so
But the second that we finish more bent this way, then the arms can take over. So it's not so much about getting there once the ball's gone. It's about that once you get into this backswing, the end of the pivot motion is there, right? You'd be stopping the pivot a little bit short, which has consequences to the club.
that makes sense.
That's it. That was well done. Good for you. Good shot. Tremendous. Hold your finish on the next one. Okay, hold it there. So push forward with the belly. Okay, and I want to try and finish with the arms more in front of you like that. So the only thing in the finish that's important is that this part and that part get far apart.
Oh, this,
Right?
okay.
But if it starts to wrap around because the elbows bend, it gets too close to you. That too closeness at the end happened more down here, and this is where we end up seeing it.
Great.
Yeah. So the body's extended and the arms are extended. That's the end of it. They call this width.
You call it what?
Width in the swing. Width is when the hands are far away from the chest. Well done. So give me one more backswing. Take it up as far as you can take it. Turn of the back, lift of the arms. Hold it up there. Yep, just hold it at the top. Okay, start again. There you go, well done. And then get the body into that tall position on the way through from there. Well done, that's a great shot. Okay, good, one more time. Good. Okay, keep going. So if I held these here beside you, I want to see if you can finish your swing without your arms coming up and hitting these clubs. So it's going to be like your ceiling for your finish. Yep. So body's going to push through. You're going to get tall and forward, but I want your arms down here. Okay. Nice job. One more time. I want the arms to stop, but I don't want your body to stop. You're stopping your body here too, and when your arms keep going because of the brakes, your arms keep going, that's where the shank comes from. So when we have gas pedals, accelerators, and we have brakes, decelerators, and we need both of those in the golf swing to create some speed. So think of it like if I'm sitting on the hood of your car going down the highway, I feel like I'm going 100 until you hit the brakes. Then I go 200, I go flying off the thing. So I want you to feel as though that in your swing that you keep your body moving all the way to here, but the arms brake stop here to allow the club to keep going. So even though I'm holding the club here, you might feel like you hit the arms brakes here. So the arms start to decelerate when they get down to here, and then turn your body through, and it'll end up over there.
So my arm stops
by the back, but no, earlier than that, by the back foot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Hey, well done.
How do you think about that, actually?
So big backswing, big turn of the body. So we've lengthened your backswing through range of motion. We've sped up the tempo of this turn to that turn, and then we've slowed down the arms from speeding themselves all the way up to the finish. So we've changed a lot of your accelerators and decelerators today. The only real mechanical thing that's different is how much you're turning this to get this high. But after that's done, I really want you to feel like from there, it's all about your speeds. That this turns hard and this moves slow.
Gotcha.
All right. So this stage of it, I want to work on finishing with your hands lower to the ground. So two things with that. If my hands are in the air, usually my elbows are bent. So the idea here is to feel as though in the downswing that the whole idea is to keep the arms long and keep them there all the way to the end. But if they bend and they lift up, either the arms powered for too long, right? Or, I mean, most tour players end up with a little bit of bend because it's so soft and the speed kind of takes it up here. But when you get there with your hands, you get there with too much speed. And that's when the club pulls itself out of the ground and we don't get down to it. So I want you to feel as though that once we have this turn one way, turn the other way, your arms go up and down, and then the elbows don't bend again. That it stays wide from you and low.
You see the elbows.
Yep. So hold it there. Push your midsection more forward. That's your finish. So your arms are going to feel like they finished low to the ground, right? Because high would mean they've bent. There you go. And that's all in the name of trying to get the club to release better to get more speed.
Can you explain the mechanics of that? Like I don't understand. Like how does that generate more speed?
Because when the arms stop, that's what gets the club head to release. So when my arms stay long like that, the club is going to start to pass itself. But if I go this way and pull my arms in, I'm always pulling on the grip. And if I keep the grip speeding up, then the club head never has a chance to pass it.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that the release of the swing is basically once the club head passes the grip. That's where it's moved the fastest. So if I can feel like I have my arms longer and lower, not only does it dig into the ground better, but it moves faster.
The club head moves faster.
Yep.
Right, okay.
Right? But if I pull this grip up into a finished position, up and around my body, that's where the club doesn't get to the ground. It starts to pull itself inward here sooner and gets up here. So we want to try and feel the first thing we talked about was the speed of your tempo, right? With the turn one way and then turn the other way. But I don't want that tempo to also involve swinging the club forward and up, right? I want to feel as though that I give the club speed here into the ground like that, right? And as long as I stand and turn, that goes through. Okay? So in order to get the proper release of the club, this has to slow down. And if your arms are going high into the finish, then this thing is still speeding up at the wrong time. It's accelerating when it should be decelerating, this part, right? So if I came all the way through and had my hand like a blocker, see how that keeps going? The stopping of the grip makes that go faster.
So you're actively stopping your arms?
Decelerating my arms before they get to impact. Not after impact, before impact. The deceleration of the arms is a speed source to the club head. And if we want speed to the club head, it has to happen before impact. So I feel like my arms stop back here by my foot in order for the speed to get to there. Okay? So we don't want to speed up the grip. We don't want to speed up your arms. And technically, I don't want any speed after about here. All your speed's already done because the golf swing is a series of accelerators and then decelerators. So from the top of my swing, my first thing that I go is my hips accelerate. Then they decelerate to transfer the speed to my chest. It accelerates, then it decelerates. Then my arms get the speed from my chest deceleration, and then once they decelerate, the club goes. So it's a series of events that continually add up to create speed to here. I'm not trying to go from here and speed up my whole body all the way to here. I want to try and feel as though that I've got all my, right to there. Everything accelerates and decelerates into there. And as long as I gently turn my body through to the finish, things keep going around the corner. But like science says that if you could stop the golf club, the second that it hit the ball, that's the one that goes the farthest. So they've done the whole iron Byron thing where they try and get the golf club to literally stop at the moment of impact. They can only get it to about here, but that's the one that has the most ball speed. But if we're trying to accelerate things past impact or through the golf ball like they've talked about, the club head moves the slowest. So we used to always hear about, oh, you want to create shaft lean through the shot and keep your hands ahead of the shot and all this stuff. That's the slowest the club head can move. Right? That's the slowest the club head goes. If you watch long drive guys, all the long drive guys flip the golf club as hard as they can. They stop the club here, they stop the grip here so hard that the shaft bends and it breaks or the grip breaks before impact. Right? Like that's a sign right there of how hard they're hitting the brakes to their arms and to the grip to get this to move faster. Turn, lift, drop this down hard as I turn the front of me to the target. And that's where I want this to finish. Low. Because the biggest thing that we can do in our frontal plane is the wood chopper motion, right? That's the most power. So if I didn't turn my body, this is the proper motion of my arms. That's the proper motion of my arms in the swing. They don't go to the target, ever, right? So once I turn my body this way, now my arm motion is here. But if I turn my body a little bit, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, and a little bit more, I move the divot forward. And that's how we hit shots. So if I can get this thing to feel like I chop down aggressively, and I get my turn, which puts the club over here, and I stand tall, which puts the club over here, it makes it look like the club was swung all the way through. But we never know what the golfer's intention is just watching them on video, right? This is what all the 3D science stuff has shown us over the years. So my whole intention was slamming that club into the ground. But the reason it got out of the ground is because I stood up, and the reason it got to that part instead of staying in the ground is because I turned through. Not because I did it with my arms. Think of it this way. If I gave you like a bull whip, and you held a whip in your hand, and you had to whip it so that the end of it hit the ball with your glove hand, you'd never pass the ball with your hand. It would never pass it. It would get short of it so it could stop to let the whip go out. Right? And if I take one of these things, right? If I take one of these things, this is the long drive guys in their shaft. See how the end of the stick gets to the ball? But the only way that I can get it there is if I stop it back here and let the shaft bend.
So if you're doing that, your hand position is sort of behind the ball?
Yeah.
So you're hitting the ball, you're stopping the ball behind the ball, and as you're moving forward, your hand is past the ball, at which point the club whips and hits the ball?
Correct. Well, I would say that I mean, watch this part of the club,
right,
the stick. As I approach the golf ball, notice how it backs up. It goes in the other direction of the target as the club head goes through.
right.
So that's a full-on stop and back up. Not forward, not this. Listen to the sound. That's as loud as I can do it if I pull the grip all the way through. Okay, I have to stop. I have to get brakes. So as soon as I apply those brakes, that's what gets the club flying past the handle. And then as long as I turn through and stand up, it gets over there. But I see in your swing that you're taking the handle of the club from here and pulling it up to here. So this is going too far with too much speed. Like the path of this club goes up, it goes down, across, and up, and it makes a big letter U, right? That's the path of the grip. We only accelerate on this part of the U. The rest of it is just taking your foot off the gas and floating. So I have speed, I'm just not accelerating. The speed's there from the acceleration, but if I accelerate my car around a corner, I crash. We have to slow down around the corner. That's the decel of the arms. The club kicks out, we turn through, and there's the finish. Yep. Okay, that was arm speed through the shot. Do that again. Hit the brakes where you had it. Good, and now turn and stand. That's what I'm looking for. Good job.
I'm not sure what to think yet.
Okay, all good.
Yeah.
Okay, a little bit higher with the hands.
So
Okay, go ahead.
it almost seems like I'm sort of just slapping at it. I don't know if that is the right word. I mean, it feels like if I'm doing what I was previously doing, it feels like I'm kind of controlling. I'm able to control the ball, and I don't know if guiding is the right word here, but I almost feel like I can sort of put the ball where I want it to put. Whereas here, I feel like I'm just kind of taking a slap shot, so to speak, and not being able to control it. I mean, maybe
Okay.
it's more practice. But I'm not really sure.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Feels like a slap. That's what I'm saying. So it feels like a
Well, I mean, if it feels like a slap and we're getting those results, then more slap, please.
more slap. Okay. All right.
Okay, so that grip moved too fast for too long, and the club never got to the ground.
Right.
Okay, not bad. Take it back a little further. Even though the follow through is short, I still want you to take it back as far as you can. Not bad. Even further back.
This seems more like a drill and less like a swing. I don't know if that makes. It's more like a partial. Like, would I take a swing like that during a game? Probably not. You know?
Should.
I should.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Okay. I guess that deceleration portion of it is kind of a foreign concept to me.
Yes, it is for most golfers. Good, one more. Not bad. One more time. Good shot. Okay, so I like where you're going with this now. This still needs to go 6 inches higher.
Okay.
But your pivot has improved a lot by hitting the brakes on this follow through better.
And we should pivot with
Your turn.
My turn.
You're turning your back to the target, then turning your front to the target.
Yeah.
You've gained more range of motion because you're not powering your arms for so long. Right? As soon as you start to power with your arms, your body freezes up. It stops, like it breaks itself. That's kind of how we create energy into the extremities of our body. This slows down, this ends up speeding up.
So this feels like a more efficient way of using my energy, whereas
100%.
before I was kind of, as you said, I was kind of swinging my arms, and then because I'm not applying the brakes, I'm just kind of going over, using my hands and just sort of passing it all.
Right.
Whereas here, I'm stopping, and I guess the mechanics here is applying the brakes and letting the club head swing
Catch up to the handle.
like a pendulum, so to speak, I guess. Right? Or,
Not really, no. But the club head now has a chance to catch up to the handle and pass the handle,
Right.
which is the release of the club. Right, that's club speed. Yep. Nice job. Way to go. So the amount of force that you're applying in your swing, we've just taken it down by half. We've taken it down from top of the swing to the finish, and now it's top of the swing just before impact.
Right, and the
So
distance shouldn't change because I've already hit the
your
ball.
distance is going to like go way up, way up. Okay, make a backswing for me, take it up to the top. Okay, keep your eye on the ball. There, above your hat. Okay, so crank it back that far and then hit the brakes. Yes, way to go. Great strike. Hey, I like it.
So, how does the deceleration portion of it help the drive with it? Like
Absolutely. So the more you decelerate the arms, the faster the club head goes. I mean, I'm only talking about the deceleration so much because you over-accelerate. Right? When you over-accelerate the grip, we have to talk about the braking and the stopping and the slowing down stuff. But I mean, I would say I talk about this at least once a day to the 8 people that come to the schools. Like it's a common theme. It's almost like it's a golf swing like epidemic where people overpower the arms for too long in the name of like accelerating through the ball, right? But we have to figure out a way to get all of our accelerators and decelerators in before the club hits the ball. Like no one runs the 100-meter dash and at 150 they're still running fast, right? Once we have the end of the road being the ball, all the speed's got to be out, right? And the fact that Usain Bolt runs past the finish line, that's him just slowing down. He's still running fast, it's just slowing down. And so we want to try and find a way to feel like things decelerate at the ball to let the club head kick out. And once that club head gets some speed, sometimes that pulls us into our finish.
that would be my miss low hook.
That's typically your miss? Okay. Which is the typical miss? Like the low hook and the high block are the typical misses for over-accelerating the grip. Like so you had the grip too far ahead and then at the last second to square the face up, you gave it some shaft twist. So the face goes from like open to super closed really fast. So that's like the save to get the ball back online. It goes that way. So the more you can feel like the grip stops before the ball, the straighter the ball's going to go. So grab the orange stick on the ground and show me how you make that thing make the loudest swoosh in the air. More wrist.
See more wrist.
Flip the wrists. More. Okay, so you notice how far your hands are going past the tee. Okay, I want the hands to stop my side of the tee and get the swoosh in there earlier. So take it up to the top of your swing, okay? Make the swoosh happen here, right here, and this time. Yep, good.
Sorry, am I flicking the wrist?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Louder. More wrist. So your wrists are going back and then to straight. Make them go past. Yes. See? Louder.
Oh, okay. Sorry, and you want that low swing?
You bet.
So, because I'm decelerating here,
Yep.
and then
Maybe accelerating the hands. Thought I saw sticks in there. Okay, come look. Higher backswing. Put the hands closer to the clouds. If the backswing gets too short, your brain knows it, so it tries to catch up in the race by speeding the arms up too far. So the higher you take it back, the easier it is to create your arm speed up here so that it decels down there instead of powering through our deceleration zone.
it also allows me to transfer.
Right. If your arms are pulling, your body's stuck. If the arms have stopped and there's no more force to them, it's easy to turn. And so that's how people get through the ball and they stay in their incline. It's they're not powering their arms for so long. One more time, even higher on the way back. So if one of the ways that I've seen golfers practice their arm speed in the gym is they take a big medicine ball, they take it up to the top of their swing, and they slam it down right there.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
Okay, what they stopped doing years ago is taking the medicine ball from here and throwing it toward the target, because changing direction applies a totally different force to things. If they throw it to the target, it starts here and it only goes across the ground. They never take it up, around the corner, and forward. So the arm speed in the swing is there. Think of it like up and down, not at the ball, not past the ball. Yeah, if you want to go to the gym and practice med ball throws straight to the ground, like the idea is to take it up and try to stop, like throw it on your right foot, straight down that way.
How high up am I going? How high are my arms right now?
Still short. Still short. Crank it back there as far as you can go. All right, now if I had this here, I want you to find a way to stop your arms, not so that it doesn't hit this. If you stop them where the club is, you'll bash into it every day. I want you to try and find a position over here to stop your arms so your arms don't get here. But so put the club on the other side of the ball for me. Yep. That's how I want it to look at the finish right there. Okay, so you have to find a way to get like that. And under and through, and flip it through past your hands. Good, just like that. Okay, I'm going to hold this here. Not bad. I tricked you. Okay, so take...
So I want to be stopping here and flipping through there.
Sure, but remember, the flip happens because you stop your arms, right? As like two people in the car, as soon as the car hits the wall, the person without their seatbelt goes flying.
Right.
So when the heavy part stops, the light part keeps going.
Right.
And this is the heavy part. Your hands, the club, your arms. Hit the brakes and be so loose with your wrists that they flop. I like the term flop instead of flip. Flip's like an action. Not bad. Okay, so now I'm going to move, and I want you to do the same thing. Way to go. Come look. Way to go. Come look.